Finally!
The hats are back, and so are we!
Time to make a special delivery.
Ah yes, Old Town Orange and the Antique Station. It's been a hot minute since I've still been recovering from wrist surgery.
But we still have our booth at the Antique Station, and now I have replenished it with R for Adventure Kindred Spirit hats. Dude, we actually have a bunch of rad stuff in here. Look at this vintage Yoda mask. Check out the Disney Sandcrawler. Hard to find these days. Ecto 1 reissue. Some tiki shells, one built by my friend Bamboo Ben, and one built by me back in 2014. And dehydrated worms, a gimbal that I used once and decided that gimbals were not for me. We got some popcorn buckets. We've got more dehydrated worms, and Mickey Mouse stuff. There's all kinds of weird stuff in here, including the power of the Cobra. Check this drum out. I got this drum at an estate sale. The person had bought it from the Indian village, that was its name, at Disneyland back in the day. I did a whole video about that. And so this isn't one of the cool ones that says Disneyland really big on it. That's an old drum from Disneyland. I got a little vintage banner from Mark Twain's boyhood hometown. Some stuff from our old forest living room. This is an amazing vintage, like 1990s Europe scrapbook. All kinds of old photos and stuff like that in there. These are really cool. Gigantic Magic Kingdom maps. Just a handful of them. These are super rare and interesting. They were created as props, so they're not quite as huge as the huge ones that take up an entire wall. But still, look at the size of that thing. That is awesome. Dude, and then check this out. This is really crazy right here. We came up on like the mother lode of old vintage t-shirts. Dude, I have been collecting Batman the Dark Knight collection for years. Never seen a sick t-shirt like this. Some of them are vintage, some of them were sort of one or two of a kind things for licensing pitches. Like these sweet Topps card shirts. These are sick, and there's a bunch more coming. Ooh, vintage Disney pins. Roger Rabbit color charts while they were working on the movie. There's a bunch of cool stuff in here if you dig. Especially in here, you got some punk records, you've got some stuff from around the country, old Disneyland maps. Look at this right here. This is amazing. Look at this old vintage cocktail book. Recipes from the 1930s, 40s, 50s. That is old school. Hey, and how about that People magazine where Harrison Ford got the earring? Remember that one? Anyway, that's just the beginning. We're having even more restocking soon in the next couple of weeks before Christmas. So, if you get a chance, cruise on down to the Antique Station in Orange, California. Because I'm not 100% sure how long we're still going to have this. Definitely through the holidays. But even before we were in here, and long after we're gone out of here, the Antique Station is well worth your time. We're still waiting on getting like a full space all to ourselves. When and if that happens, we'll definitely stay here. And I'll try to work out a regular time to be down here, but meanwhile, I've been sort of avoiding it, not just because of the risk, but every time I come in here, I get super tempted to buy stuff, especially when I see things that would totally be on my Christmas list, like any pre-1990s monster toys, Frankenstein stuff. Or how about this booth, dude? This booth right here has got a lot of classics. Check out those old Simpsons figurines. Snoopy, big old blow-molded Frankenstein head, tons of vintage, legit Star Wars figures, and more and more, and ooh, yeah, I could use these. I don't actually have these, and you know I'm a 1989 Batman fanatic, so lots and lots of stuff in here. Awesome. Ooh, who knew Nirvana shirts and vintage tees would be worth so much money one day? Dang, I'm only charging $25. Whew. Dude, tons of good stuff. Check out the freaky tikis over here in this booth. Those are pretty sweet. That is also a pretty sweet clock. You know what time it is? Time for food. Dude, and then look at all the seasonal stuff. Look at that hand-painted old school candy cane. That thing is righteous. Oh yeah, there's a lot of rad stuff in here. I could spend hours and hours, which I always inevitably do, once I come in here and really start looking around. Of course, that's not really the real reason why I haven't been down here much. The real reason is that Allie and I have been going through some crazy times. Me with the wrist, but her with even crazier stuff that I promised I would tell you about for Thanksgiving, and you should be watching this around that time. It's been stressful and weird to talk about, and I don't know, this isn't really the place, so I'll wait until we're out of here, but I promised, and so once we get out of here, I'll give you the skinny. Dude, speaking of weird, unusual, hand-painted, I'm assuming that's a Target game. Look at that. And then check these out. These have been here forever. There's Snow White and all 7 dwarves. Look at them, hand-painted, very bootleg daycare, if you know what that is. I love these guys. I hope they never sell, and they're just in here adorning this place for all time. Maybe if I get some extra money, I should buy them and then redonate them to stay forever. My favorite stuff in here is always the really unusual. Like if someone had this in their house by their lamp, I'd be like, that's awesome. Something individual, something unique, you know, or look at this old sneezy right here. Or better yet, what in the world is this? It's a wiener dog decanter. Look at, you put your hooch inside your pooch. Or dude, look at this. If you've got to buy presents or you're considering buying a stuffed animal for kids, why not buy one from here like this vintage gizmo? He needs a home. And remember, no matter what happens, do not feed him after midnight. I mean, they've got everything. Children's books, you got old school lunch boxes. Plus, it's a very cool way shopping here of getting name brand stuff. Perhaps you've heard of me, but still shopping small for the holidays. And so, foolish mortals, come on down here to the antique station, see me or my friend Fake Tyler or famous YouTube star Hey Man with J-Man, and you too can pick up some sick merch as seen on Randomland. Boy, there must be no cure because this merch just keeps getting sicker and sicker. This is one of my favorites right here, the old vintage Knott's Berry Farm jar box. Look at that art. They don't make them like they used to. Oh, and by the way, this samurai print over here in that mirror, I actually made those frames when I worked at a frame shop over in, I don't know if it was technically Anaheim or Fullerton, but over off State College. Dude, check this out. Is this Mr. Bear? From Full House? And look at these vintage Care Bears. Dude, these are the 80s ones, but they are like pristine. Seriously, look. The tags confirm they are vintage. But they're so clean and pristine. Whoa, look, the grumpy one. That's me. Oh man, if Tyler was here, he'd be saying, dude, have you tried the sugar-free Mountain Dew? Tastes just like the real Mountain Dew. That's why they don't even make real Mountain Dew anymore. They just use the sugar-free one. Ooh, dang, Mickey Mouse comics? See what I'm saying? I keep wanting to leave. Then I get sucked into looking at more things. Look at these carnival straws over here. Remember those? Or what about this? You ever seen one of these? I doubt it, because if you did, you'd never be able to forget. That's an image I'm never going to get out of my head. This is so scary. This is like the next generation's Babadook. Like, I can picture this thing coming to life and coming after people. Ugh, I don't like that. It's the evil Snook. Oh no, or what about these elves? Ugh, they're a little Dark Crystal-ish. You know, a little labyrinthy, a little Brian Froud-ish, but mostly they're just scary. Oh, or Scary Santa. Or scary... Dude, if any of these came to life, oh boy, this whole place would be soiled. Seriously, that's gonna give me nightmares. What is... I can't even read that. What is it? It's so scary. Everything else in that booth and this booth, so cute, but so terrifying. Oh, if you're into horror Christmas, this is the way to go. Is that Santa? Oh, Santa of your nightmares. All right, we're running out of time, and since I'm not in the market for any 8-track tapes, I guess it's better to say goodbye. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye, Jay. Bye. See ya. Oh, dude, even when I'm outside, I see stuff that brings back memories. You ever have one of these? My brother and I had one of these. We always played with it like it was the Disneyland train. All right, well, the light is starting to get a little low out here at the orange circle. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's actually one cricket who's already started to pipe up, even though the sun is still technically up. The shadows are getting awfully long, and with traffic the way it is, it's gonna be dark soon. Plus, there's a ton of people out in the orange circle today. It's just wild. So if we're gonna talk about serious stuff, we should probably head home. Oh, before I get in the car though, look at this. Really? It's Goosey, sort of the unofficial mascot of the orange circle. There's Goosey. Aww.
Out for a walk. Goosey's sort of a local celebrity around these parts. It's an orange thing. Ooh, I just remembered. Gotta stop at the grocery store on the way home because Friendsgiving is coming. Because some of us have elderly grandparents or parents we normally have Thanksgiving with. Last year, we ended up getting together with some of our friends who were all negative COVID tested, but or had been isolated, you know, during all the lockdown stuff, and having a Friendsgiving for Thanksgiving. And this year, apparently, we're carrying on the tradition, so I gotta pick up some supplies, especially if I want to partake in any of those sweet gluten-free rolls that Allie bakes. Like everybody else, I get so busy during the holidays that it's part nostalgia and joy for me, but also, let's face it, partially kind of annoying. There's lots to do, it gets hectic, and so I find myself most years sort of wishing like, oh man, we gotta get through the holidays. You always hear that expression, get through the holidays. But this year, it is so totally different. This year, I find myself wanting to savor every moment of the holiday like it's going out of style. Because this year, all the stuff that's going on makes time with my loved ones extremely precious. Before I elaborate though, maybe I should call home and let them know I'm running late. My cell phone is dead though. Ah, wait, there's a payphone. Oh, perfect, just like old time. Oh no! What happened? I mean, I could charge my phone in the car, but what's ET gonna do? Side note, gang, I just want to say, it is super hard to pump gas with one hand, or with your non-dominant hand, you know. Whew. Made it home just in time for sunset. Never mind. I was more tired than I thought. So there's really no fun, lighthearted way to talk about this because it's not a very fun, lighthearted subject. But to cut to the chase, to make a long story very short, basically we've just been recently informed that Allie's Crohn's disease has now reached like a life or death, literally a life or death sort of juncture. And that she's had Crohn's, and for the last more than a year, but certainly in the last year especially, I've watched her just fade. You guys see when she's with me at like Walt Disney World, or you know, when we go somewhere and you see her with me on her good days when she's mustering up all the energy and just trying to be pleasant and smile and be happy. But for more than a year, I mean almost as long as she's been getting her infusions, which is 2 years, she's been really just starting to fade, like a slow decline. There's a lot of days where the flare-ups and from the Crohn's are so bad she's sleeping 16 hours a day. She's gotten, you know, iron deficient and super anemic and ulcerated from basically, like, they did some scans and, you know, scopes and everything on her, and she's ulcerated inside from stem to stern all the way through, herniated inside, just crazy stuff. And the worst part is that there's a part of her intestines that is so scarred up now from the disease just going wild in there that it's so narrow that almost nothing can pass through, which means you get blocked up all through your stomach and you just throw up. And I've just watched this happen, and she looks so pretty and small and demure and cute and petite, you just never think anything would be wrong with her from the outside. But I've just watched her basically fade. She'll have good days, don't get me wrong. In fact, when we went to Disney World this last time, there was a whole good week. Normally when I take her to Disney World, she lasts a day or two, and then there's days where I gotta be by myself because she can only be up for an hour or so. And she had like a really good week, and it was great, and she was eating, and eating was pretty much fine. And then there's other times where she can't go anywhere with me, and the reason you don't see her with me is because she can barely move. And I was going back and forth on Route 66, you know, and doing those road trips where I do 1 week on, 1 week off, because, you know, I have my kid that week or whatever. And the last time that I went, she had the blockage in there had gotten so bad, her belly was so distended that you could literally burst and get sepsis and die, and she came that close. I mean, we're actually on a knife edge even now. Any day is a knife edge now, because basically I have instructions that, you know, 12 hours of this, you gotta take her to the hospital. If a fever over this, take her to the hospital, and they'll have to do crazy stuff. So to try to make all this long story short, Or well, no, I guess I should finish that. So going out on Route 66 and coming back that last time, and she hadn't been able to keep down even water for almost 48 hours and no food for like 72 hours. She didn't complain or do anything or go to the hospital or anything. And so I've just been, probably because she was out of her mind from dehydration, so I've just been so scared to leave without her for like a year or two. So not only did I have the hand thing going on, which is the biggest thing. Look at this. This is victory, because I could not spread my fingers before. It was getting harder and harder to edit, especially on a laptop. You notice the videos, it takes so long to come out because it was hard to edit. So not just that, but I've been leaving less and less because she's needed so much more help and attention, and she hasn't been able to work in a long time. She hasn't been able to do any normal functioning thing. Any plans are subject to change. And I perfectly well understand. I'm very sympathetic because I had raging, unchecked, nobody knew celiac disease for years and years and years, where I couldn't even leave the house ever. I mean, there was 5 to 7 years there where I really couldn't go anywhere, not unless I had every bathroom along the way, and I'd be doubled over in pain at people's houses. I was still playing shows in my band, and I'd just be in the van, like curl up in a little ball, go do the show, curl back up in a little ball, just dying. So I totally can sympathize and understand how she feels, but it's been really, really hard. She only has 2 classes in college right now. She's doing some stuff in school, and like community college stuff, and for sewing and fashion design or whatever. And she only is taking 2 courses this semester because it's just her energy levels, not a lot of energy there. And even the 2 courses, it's like, it's dicey whether she can make it sometimes. So it's just, you only see the good side. Most people only see the good side. That's the side she wants her to see. Smiling, happy, but the energy fading, the constant worry, the stress. So I haven't been going anywhere since then except for Disney World when I brought her with me. I've been so scared to leave her alone. Make sure that she's taken care of. Make sure she's taking all her medications. And she's been on a ton of medication for a long time. You know, prednisone and stuff like that. So it's just gotten really serious. So the doctors a few weeks ago, and this is all what the point of this is. The doctors a few weeks ago sat us down because she'd been all scoped through to figure out what they're going to do next. One, they're going to have to change her medication, her infusions, to a much more crazy medication, which will hopefully put Crohn's in remission and be back to Crohn's. 2, we knew she was going to have surgery on the part inside where the blockage is. But it is a whole other thing when we sat down and met with the surgeon finally, who actually looked at all these results, who actually looked at her whole case, finally got to a doctor who's actually paying attention and was like, listen, you're literally, as is, you are literally going to die. This will kill you. It's only a matter of time because it's so restricted that one way or another, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 2 months or 3 months from now, not long, you will die from this. Nothing can go through. So you have a 100% chance of dying if you don't do anything. Okay, well, we kind of knew that. It's crazy to hear that in words, especially about Allie, who looks so cute and perfect, and you would never think she's even sick, you know, if you didn't know. And then they said we can, you know, or we can do this procedure, and then there's a 15%, 10 to 15% chance though you still die, and so, or we can do some other procedure. So without getting super specific, they're basically going to have some crazy surgery on her, and then wait 6 months, and then have another surgery to put everything back together, and then in between those 2 surgeries, just throw every kind of treatment they possibly can at it. And it's like brutal because it's Allie who's, you know, oh no, they're gonna cut me all apart and all that stuff, and it's so sad. And there's been a lot of crying for a couple weeks. Now on the plus side, for me, sitting in there, I've been crying too with her, you know, I'm crying right there along with her. The plus side for me is that I've been watching this happen for a year or 2 and freaking out and being upset at her doctors, and for the longest time we couldn't even get in person to see them because of all the COVID restrictions and stuff like that. So I've been freaking out that all this was going on and kind of figured this is what was going to happen, and freaking out like, let's do something about this. We got to get it. And the doctors are just taking their sweet time, you know how it is. And finally, this new doctor's got a plan, and the plan is horrible, and Allie's going to have to go through horrible agony, and it's going to be tough to be here and make sure she's taken care of. Of course, I have my family, and we have a lot of very good friends, and so I'm sure that all things considered, the support system is there for it to all be fine. But anyway, it was a relief to me in one way, because I'm relieved that there's at least some kind of plan, because that is, you know, I don't want to be alone with no Allie. I don't want to be in the world with no Allie. Is a world without Allie a world we want to live in? You know what I mean? So I'm just relieved in a way. And of course I'm sad for Allie because she's going to have all these scars and things, and you know, and it's scary, obviously, any kind of surgery, and it's going to be literally 6 months of getting cut up and having insane medication and then getting cut up again and putting back together again if nothing changes and the plan goes as is. On the plus side for both of us, because that's what we found out. So we found this out, I mean, 5 seconds after I got this surgery. So also while we're like grieving and being sad and working through this and processing all this, I've got one hand and poor Allie's had to help me do everything, right? So it's getting a little better now. I can do more stuff, so it's a little easier for her. Poor Allie. So the first thing, of course, was my friend texted me, you know you can't complain about that hand anymore, right? Yeah. But the plus side for both of us too is that when we first found that out, it was like we didn't know when she was going to have the surgery. We didn't know if it would be before now. We didn't know if it would be the first week of December. And so we asked them, like, do you think it can be scheduled after, you know, December, whatever the end of Allie's semester is? Because at least that way she doesn't waste her whole, she's been in school for the whole semester, those 2 courses, and it was so hard for her to make it and get through it, you know, all with being sick. And they said, no, it'll definitely be after that. So that was a relief. And now we found out it'll be after Christmas. So it'll be sometime mid-January. So thank God, you know, that they have a plan in place, and I have all these things that they told me, okay, if she this or this or this or this happens, take her to the hospital and we do the surgery as an emergency surgery immediately. So it still could be any second. It's still freaky and terrifying, but we're trying not to think about that too much, you know. I'm just staying around her and being very careful that somebody's with her, you know, and just keeping an eye on things. Not that she can't take care of herself, but just, you know, the paranoia and the love and all that. And then, so it should be mid-January, which means that we get the holidays together. Normal, no scars, no weird liquid diets, no healing, no IVs, no crazy new medications that might have crazy side effects for her. So everything is going to be more or less normal, other than just the sickness she's already coping with, for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. Hold on, sorry, this is very hard to talk about, and I couldn't do it last night, so I waited all night and then came out this morning with you so that I could get pumped up and be super positive and not get upset. And that is why I'm telling you, and not Allie sitting here with me telling you, because we can't talk about it like this too much. She'll just start crying. She doesn't want to cry on a camera. Neither do I, so bear with me here. And it's a long cut and a long explanation. So anyway, we can't control the Crohn's. We've been trying for years. We've done everything that we can do with medication. It's the thing that's put off our wedding for so long. So everybody and every day someone asks, it's our fault, put it out in the world. Look, we're engaged and we were so happy and we're going to get married. Why we haven't got married has nothing to do with anyone dragging their feet. We did miss it, one of our dates, because of the pandemic lockdowns, but now it's pushed back because the way Allie's medical coverage works, we have to get all this stuff done and get it all taken care of before we get married, and she's stuck on my horrible medical stuff, which I apparently need to upgrade for the future, you know. So there's all that kind of stuff going on. But aside from all the stress, aside from all the worries, aside from the literally life or death situation, you know, we've done everything we can do. We're still doing everything that we can do, and we can't do anything else. We can't control the fact that she got the Crohn's. All we can control is our reaction to it. So that leads into the whole quest for positivity thing that I've talked for years, and it's really been a money where my mouth is situation for the past more than a year. So first there was the lockdowns, and it really started getting bad during that, while we were locked down. It was bad before that too, but it was getting really, really bad during those. And as the world is unlocked, and you've seen probably more and more of my what would you say, my contemporaries, my friends out there, people who do similar stuff to me, running around, yay, everything's unlocked, and running around, and see me kind of slowly coming back. That's why, because I've been home with her, and it's been a mess. It's been a mess. It's been really tough. She's been a little trooper though, super brave, and she's still brave. So like I said, there was all this crying and stuff like that, and she'd be crying if we were talking about it, but she's already like putting a good face on it and looking for what outfits she can wear after post-surgery and all this different stuff. I mean, it's not fair. You know, I told her that right away. It's not fair. Same thing I told my uncle. I got an uncle who's dealing with cancer and really battling cancer at the same time, and I told him, I was like, it's not fair. There is no it's fair. It's just the way it is. And so we're trying to do the best that we can with it, but we're like extremely grateful that we got the holidays before that happens. And so it's made things high stress a little bit, so you can get testy easily. But it's also made me really appreciate, like, if I was sitting out here normally, I don't smell the grass and notice all the birds and stuff. It's been like that. And I know it's been like that for her too, so we're both just really grateful. You know, bought a big blow molded Santa Claus in the living room. I'll show you in a second. And that's why I was like, we're doing Friendsgiving again? Why? Everybody's got their own Thanksgiving home to go to on Thursday. Why are we doing a Wednesday Friendsgiving today? And it dawned on me that, like, it's important for her. Sorry, it's really hard to talk. Important for her to do this and get to spend time with her friends and to feel normal and do all that stuff. So don't get me wrong, there's worse things in the world. Comparison is the thief of joy, though. Shouldn't compare your sorrows or your joys to other people. It'll ruin them. So it could be worse, for sure. Of course, we're thinking about that and saying that out loud every day. But it still sucks. And there's no point pretending that it doesn't suck. But the silver lining is there's a plan, in place. And the doctors are, I finally feel like the right doctors are there and that they're on my side. They don't want us to all lose Allie, and they don't want Allie to lose Allie, because I've just been terrified. I cannot tell you how terrified for a long time that they were not taking it seriously and not doing anything. And that's probably how we got this far. And finally, I feel like they figured it out and they're on our side, and they're going to do this surgery and throw all the drugs and kitchen sink they can at it. And I feel calmer that, like, there's more than one doctor now. It's like 3 different doctors. There's a whole care team and a surgery schedule and that. So anyway, the holidays have become very important this year to us, and like, it just makes you realize how fragile everything is, especially when you see someone who looks so young and healthy and perfect, like Allie, walking around all cute with her little outfits and her hair and everything, and then to know that it's like, it's not quick, that everything could change. And like, as you guys may or may not know, this year I've lost my great uncle, a great aunt, and a friend that I grew up with that was like my best friend until probably 10th grade. Which is it's just been a weird year of stuff like that. So I'm just personally really grateful. When I think about Thanksgiving, I'm like so thankful for all my friends, my family, for Allie, for all the things that I normally completely take for granted. And I'm really especially thankful for all of you. The last, 8, 9, almost 10 years of adventures and videos and positivity and kindred spirits out there who like adventure and appreciate, all this wacky stuff and fun stuff, and all the patrons, especially on Patreon, and all the people who leave all the positive comments, especially, Instagram and stuff like that, buy the hats and stuff from the online store. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal, especially because there could be plenty of poor motivation, bad motivation behind people doing similar stuff. If that makes sense. I'm phrasing this very badly. What I'm trying to say is that each one of those things has really made a huge difference in my life and a really huge difference in our lives, because all this time, it's not like we've been banking. I've been taking care of her. And it's really made a world of difference to be able to have, like, this job and to be able to make the people happy that I make happy, or contribute towards other people's happiness and distractions. They may be silly videos, but I can attest from the times that I've been the most depressed in my life when I was going through divorce and all this chaos, that sometimes being able to turn off your brain and watch a silly adventure, a silly video, and just have a laugh, look at something through somebody else's eyes, it's like a life or death difference in terms of how depressed you are, or whatever. You understand. I know many people come up to me all the time and thank me for the videos, or thank me for this, or, you know, your video got me through depression. My video didn't get you through a depression. You got you through a depression. But I'm grateful that I got to be a small part of helping you. You know what I mean? And so I'm unspeakably grateful for being allowed, being invited into your home, to your phone, probably the bathroom, but I don't want to know, to be part of your lives, and that you guys have become such a huge part of our lives, and that I'm able to do this, and I wish that I could, you know, I wish I could record all the people who say thank you to me, because I always tell them, oh, it's not me, I didn't do anything, but it's you guys that have made it possible for me to do what I do. If it's ever helped or made anybody else happy, then that's on you. Anyway, I just feel extremely grateful, and I feel like, you know, way that I never felt before with the alley, that, like, you know, every second counts, even more than normal. So I've been trying to stick around home as much as possible. There will still be traveling, there will still be adventures, and I'm sure once her surgery's settled and all that stuff, I'm sure we'll still travel and stuff, but I'm not there yet thinking about that plan-wise. But that was something that's been affecting this. It's been affecting everything that I do for more than a year. And it's not something that we talked about much. We didn't want to talk about it because it's just something freaky and scary and unknown with no solution, no nothing. And now at least there's a plan. So that's basically as much detail as I can give you now. It's gnarlier than that. There's gnarlier details than that, but nobody wants to hear about intestinal surgery in great detail and graphic detail. I feel like that might be some kind of term violation anyway. So, and plus, you know, that's the more personal side for Allie. So, we appreciate all the thoughts and prayers and positive vibes and all that stuff, but that's what's going on. It's taken a long time to talk about it, and it's taken a long time for me to spit this out of my mouth. So I hope that you weren't too annoyed. And now, my friends, we gotta prepare for Friendsgiving. Or to phrase it more accurately, it's time for me to get out of the way while Allie's cleaning so I don't ruin anything. Hi, I love you. Anyway, Frankenstein and I are gonna just try to stay out of the way unless we're called for chores, and keep blow-molded Santa company until our guests arrive. Oh my gosh, the guests are starting to arrive.
Hey,
look at this. We got
I've been here the
number
whole
2
time.
over here.
I never left.
Fake Tyler.
How are you?
And Boba Depp. Hey, Boba Depp. Everything is all rearranged to accommodate the diners at the table. Look at this. Even London has a friend. Hi, friend.
Hi.
Hi, London. And then look at this. It's the sweetest, prettiest diner of them all. Hi, Allie.
Hi.
Are you excited for Friendsgiving?
Yes.
You're the one who wanted to have a giving with all your friends.
Yeah.
And
I like cooking.
Where's the turkey, though?
Steph has it.
And she's not here yet.
Not
I
yet.
don't know how she's going to transport a boiling hot, fresh turkey, but she will be my hero when that turkey arrives, because Steph makes really good turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, check this out. Gluten-free charcuterie. And here's a brie for our friend Brie. Brie's cutting the brie. The ceremonial cutting of the brie. Hooray! Oh, look who's all dressed up. Bogey. Oh, no, it's not time yet. And then there's poor Boba Depp. He's being punished right now. He's peeling the potatoes. What'd you do, buddy? You know what you did. Oh, I saw some PDA. PDA! Oh my goodness, look at this. Now that's a healthy bird. And it was all cooked by the wife of Handsome Chris. Or Handsome Steph. Baker girl Steph baked our turkey. Did you actually bake it in an oven? I don't know how baking works.
Yes, I did.
Yes! That's a juicy bird, friends. Let's eat.
Yep, that's one heck of a bird, Bobby. Bill, Dale, Boba Depp. Let's eat.
All right, guys, I let you in on our little family secrets and the reasons why this year we're extra grateful for all of our friends and for you. And now we've done all we can do, which means we've
we've done our duty. We can go home and eat well.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.